And you got to really keep adding the liquid. And so for caramelizing, you really do have to babysit them here. And the lower the heat, the longer you caramelize, then you can really draw out some nice flavors from your onions. All right. So for this sake, these are getting soft, so I'm just going to move on to adding in my garlic. Now my garlic, I minced it up just before we started. I used 4 cloves of garlic. You can use 2, 3, 4, depends on how much garlic you like. And garlic, you got to watch, because garlic will burn very easily. So I usually don't put my garlic in for too long. And then I add the spices in next. A lot of kind of conventional recipes that I grew up with, you kind of add the spices towards when you've added all your ingredients. But adding your spices here allows them to develop some fragrance and really enhance your flavor. So I don't want too much more. So I'm adding in, I'm just going by my measurement in my hand, which is, but it's about a tablespoon of chili powder. Add that in. Let me add a little more liquid here so that it doesn't start burning. There. So I've got chili powder. I like coriander. It's one of my favorite spices now. So I'm adding about a teaspoon of coriander. And with these, I'm using rice as the base, one of the fillings. And rice tends to really soak up the flavors of the spices. So I've added cumin as well. I'm going to add some garlic powder. Yes, I added garlic. I always like to be liberal with the spices. So I'm going to add in some onion powder. And then when it's fragrant, which doesn't take very long, a minute or two, then you can start adding some of your other ingredients. So next we're going to add in the peppers that we chopped up as part of from the pepper that we did. We'll add some peppers next. And once the peppers start to cook, you'll get some liquid going here, a little bit of liquid, and then we're going to add in some tomatoes. So we're just going to let the peppers go for a couple of minutes here. And if you feel like it's burning on the bottom, you can add a little bit more water or broth just to keep it from burning. I just like to, just kind of keep an eye on it that way. I might add just a touch, not too much. Oops, I lost the pepper, it flew off. Just let that go. So just give those a few minutes. Maybe a little more water, liquid, not too much. And this is a great recipe if you don't have too much in your house, you're down to the pantry items. Pretty much everything except for the peppers and the onion. Well, peppers and onion are a staple in my pantry. I always kind of have peppers in the fridge. It's like on my list every week to buy some peppers. We use quite a bit. But a lot of it is things like rice. I've got canned beans, black beans. So everything is a lot of pantry staples here. So if you're trying to figure out what to do and you don't have anything but peppers and onion for fresh, you can add that in. Now I'm going to add in my tomatoes. So I've got diced canned tomatoes. I'm going to add those in. This is a big can. I'm going to add about half of the can. don't want the full can. So I would say it would be like a 400 ml can. I'm not sure what that is, about 14 ounces if you're in the US. So it would be the smaller can, and it's just diced tomatoes. You could actually use fresh diced tomatoes if you have as well. That works too. And we'll let that come, turn it up a bit. We'll let that come to a boil. I can smell. You can't smell, but I can smell all the nice flavors from the chili, pepper, and the garlic. You could add some salt here too if you'd like. That's another thing. You could add in a little bit of salt. And we're just going to let that come to a boil for a couple minutes here. And you can cook this as long as you want. You just have to make sure that make sure you've got liquid in it. You could add more liquid if it evaporates, just the same way as we have been doing. But I'm good. Our next step is to add in some black beans. Oh, and I've got some nutritional yeast and corn. I'm going to add in the black beans. So this is a small can of black beans here. And you can make your own too, black beans. That's great if you want. So you'd have to make those in advance. And I have some frozen corn. This is supposedly non-GMO corn. I'm going to add that in. It gives a nice color and a little bit of sweetness to your mix. So we'll just let those simmer and warm up and get nice and boiling here. And then we're going to add in some rice. And now I have rice. It's brown rice that I cooked up. If you like, you can do quinoa. That's another thing. You could use quinoa instead of rice. But I cooked up yesterday some brown rice. And I just cook it in my rice cooker, but just cook it based on the instruction. Since I bought a rice cooker, that's what I use all the time. It's so much easier just to use the rice cooker. Okay, it's almost like you can set it and forget it. So with brown rice, it's like 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of liquid. And so I'm just gonna now give this another minute just to make sure the corn is good. And then I'm gonna add in my rice. Now, the fact that I cooked it yesterday,